Hello. So here is the lesson just coming up. Right, I want you to have a go at the starter. So teacher, if you could just pause until we're ready, that'd be lovely. Right, here are the answers. So make sure you've got green pens. Again, teacher, if they haven't got green pens, can you just pause, please, till everyone's got a green pen? And you can mark 6 out of 15, 26 over 100, 9 over 300, 0.09 and 9 over 100, 1.5 kilograms and 1,500 grams. And then you can see here that the ratio of 1,500 to 600 is 5:2. So your title today is expressing one number as a percentage of another. So quickly make sure you get this title written down. So express one number as a percentage of another. So, who did the best in history? Tom, Matthew, Chris, or William? So let's have a quick look. So Tom got 34 out of 50 in this test. So the good thing is, if we changed them both to a percentage, out of 50 is over 100, and you can times by 2, you times by 2, and Tom got 68 out of 100, which is 68%. History, well, we can go over 100 again, can't we? Times 5 times 5. So if you end up timesing that by 5, you end up with 50, which is the same as, oh, look, half, 50%. 25 goes quite nicely because that goes out of 100. You can times by 4, so times by 4, so 40%. And again, this one is out of 100. You times by 5, and 13 times 5, what's that? 65. So if you end up with that, you would see that Tom did the best in history. Right, I want you to tell me quickly now, who did the best, please, in geography? So we can have a go quickly. So Tom, Matthew, Chris, or William. Quickly, have a go. Who did the best in geography? Shouldn't take you too long. So times 5 for Tom, times 5 is 70, so 70%. Times by 4, 9 fours, what's that, 36. Times 10 is 60. And times 2 is 68. So Tom also did the best in geography. Good old Tom. Right. Some of these questions we do is with calculator and some we'll do without a calculator. So to start with, we're not using a calculator and it's just to express 14 out of 20 as a percentage. So you do exactly what they did in the tests, and 14 out of 20 is the same as times 5, so 14 times by 5, and you get 70. So it is 70% because it's 70 out of 100. What do you do out of 200? Well, the good thing is we can just half it. So half of that one is 100, half of that is 34, so 34%. This is slightly more difficult. So if we've got 32 out of 40, you've got to try and work the best way of getting to 100. You can go, well, times 2 and a bit, or you can do whatever. I would probably cancel down first and go, actually, out of 20, half of that, 16. It's probably even easier to then go half of that and half of that is 8/10, because 8 out of 10 is 80 out of 100, which is 80%. Like I said, if you just knew that was 2 and a half of them, you could have had a go at that. But I would have probably cancelled down and then built it back up. So for example, this one here, 36 out of 75, 36 out of 75, no calculator. How do you get to 100? Well, I would probably cancel down and say divide by 3, because I know 25 goes into 100. So divide it by 3 backwards, divide that one by 3, and I get 12. So now times by 4, times by 4, and I get 48, which is 48%. So you can go forwards, backwards. What about this one? How are we going to get this one over 100? 55 out of 125. Again, you should be spotting that there it goes out of could go out of 25 maybe. Because if it goes out of 25, then we can get to 100, can't we? Well, how do you get from there to there? Divide by 5. So divide by 5, what, 11? And then go over to 100 and times 4, 44, 44%. Sometimes you get ones with, what's it called, units. Just got to be careful because these are not the same thing, are they? So that's 200, but out of, and at higher level, you're expected to know that there's 1,000 millilitres in a litre. So this should be out of 5,000. Right, well, 5,000 is no good for us really, because we don't want to have to do that. We want it out of the percentage. So watch, cancel, 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 cancel. That's all right. 2 out of 50 is the same as 4 out of 100. So actually that's going to be 4%. So just out of a big 5-litre bottle, just having 200 millilitres, right, is actually just 4%. Have I got that right? Yeah. Next one. Sometimes it says show that. So these are our kind of like our silver reasoning type of questions, aren't they? Reasoning type of questions. So we've got to basically show why. Well, you literally can just go 3/5 is 6/10. 6/10 is 60 out of 100, which is 60%. It is, yeah, just that easy. Same again. You can just go, well, half of that is 40, half of that is 100, and you've got 40%. So you are going to need your calculators out. So if you don't already, teacher, can you just pause while everyone gets a calculator out? Right, so we're now on to 5/12. Some of them we just can't be bothered to work out over 100. It's just too much hassle and doesn't work out very nicely at all. So we instead, right, if you've got a Casio calculator, you should just be able to pick this fraction button and literally type 5/12 and then press your SD button here. So I'm doing it on mine now, 5/12, and I press equals and it gives me 0.416 recurring. This is more of a real life thing. 5 out of 12 in a test. What did you get as a percentage? 5 divided by 12, that means as well. So if you don't have a Casio with a fraction button, you'd have to go 5 divided by 12 to get the decimal version. So what does this mean? This is our decimal. So if you press times 100, you end up with 41.6 recurring. And again, just depends what it says. Does it say to the nearest whole number or the nearest one decimal place? You'd have to look at the question. So 8 millimeters as a percentage of 45 millimeters. Check the units. Yes, they're the same. Go on then. So do that on your calculator. 8 out of 45 in a test, or 8 millimeters out of 45. So do this one on your calculator. .17 recurring. So again, you times by 100 and you get the percentage. So 17.777777. And it just depends. It could be 18 as a whole number or 17.8 to one decimal place. Last couple. Look, again, we've got to be careful because it's not out of something we like. And it's, sorry, that are not alike. That's grams and that is kilograms. So we've got 350 grams. I'd just go straight away and go, oh, times 1,000, 1,200. But I don't want to be doing that out of 100, so we'll do it on the calculator. 350 out of 1,200, and you get 0.2916. Again, times by 100. And you will get your 29.16 recurring. Again, just depends on what you need to round it to. So anything expressing one number as a percentage of the other, you are literally typing in your calculator, pressing equals and timesing it by 100. Top divided by bottom times 100 to work that out. Really quickly, have a go at those questions. Pause the video, please, teacher. That'd be great. Right, quickly. A, so 20 out of 200, because that is 200 pence, isn't it? So you wouldn't have even needed to. You could have gone 10 out of 100, 10%. So it should be 10%. 600 out of 1,000. Look, cross, 60%. No calculator even needed. 60p. Out of 240 pence. Right, that's one I can't be bothered to do. 60 over 240 is 25%. And your last one, you've got to be careful maybe, that 36 minutes out of an hour, so you have to change that to 60. 36 out of 60 is going to give you 60%. Well done if you got those right. Smiley face if you got them all right. Straight face if you got some right. Unhappy if you didn't get any. Right, so we're going on to our gold type questions because we taught you the technique, but you've got to solve your problem yourself. So if you pause the video, teacher, please, and have a little go. Right, so a big jug contains 800 millilitres of water. Mo pours 300 millilitres into a glass, 300. So now there's only 500 left in the jug. Amir pours 350 into another glass, 350. So we've got to take away 350, and what do we get left with? 150. What percentage of water is left in the jug? So the percentage is 150, and it was out of 800. So use your normal technique, or just stick it in your calculator like I'm going to do now. Okay, and I get 0.1875 as a decimal. So what do I need to do? Times by 100, and I'm going to get 18.75%. Hopefully that's what you got. Right, so Dexter and Whitney both sell t-shirts. Dexter's got 30 t-shirts and sells 21. Whitney's got 50 t-shirts, sells 32. Who sells the greater percentage of their t-shirts? Quickly, have a go at this question for me. Hopefully, you are doing this. Probably want to use a calculator for that one. You don't have to. You could actually just cancel the fraction down. Did you get 70% for this one? Right, quickly, what about this one? I don't even need a calculator for this one. How much over 100? 64, so it's 64%. But be careful, as with our best book tasks, the question says, who sells the greater percentage of their t-shirts? Right, so this one was for D, for Dexter. This one was W for Whitney. So the answer is Dexter. And I would be circling the percentage. So you've got both bits of working out and you've actually answered the question. Because if you just write 70% and 64% and don't write the person who did it, you wouldn't get the marks for an exam question. Right, I want you please to have a go at these questions. So you should be getting given a worksheet in a second. Yes, I know some of it's easy, but at least it's easy when I'm not there instead of being more difficult. So have a go at the questions. The teacher will have the answers at the end. Look, oh, there they are. So, yeah, pause the video, please, and get having a go. Right. So hopefully the answers you can get ready to mark. So I need you, please, to make sure you have your green pens. Get your green pens ready. And you can mark the answers. So 50 and 50, 20, 20, 20, 20, 60 and 60 with your 20 there. Times 10 is 70, 70%. E, 45%. F, 76%. G, 80%. H, 44%. Question 2. Here are the answers. So the percentage to the nearest whole, 78%, 61%, 64, 65, 67. Back here, I think with this one here, well, you don't really need to know because it's there, 28 out of 30. If you need to mark any other bits and bobs, you can do. Question 3, 85%, 48%, 6%, 13%, 65%, and 9%. Question 4, 45%. Question 5, you got maths, so 17 out of 20 is 85%. English was 84%, so it's maths. So see, they've done the working out and written the answer. 6A, 58%, B, 53%, C, 33, D, 29, E, 29, F, 37. Question 7, A, Esther 24%, Aisha 27, Juan 24, and Jack 25. B is 82%. Question 8, Hoops Galore with 35%. We had to show that Fruity Loops was 30%. Now, hopefully, that was all okay. And on to the next bit. So new title, percentage change. You have to learn about percentage change. So quickly get that written, new page or new wherever, it doesn't matter, new title, percentage change. You still need your calculators. Okay, so Alex buys a book for a £5. Once she's read it, she sells it for £4. Right? How much of a loss did she make? Easy, £1. What was the percentage loss? What is the percentage loss then? Want you to be thinking about that when I give you the answer. So what's the percentage loss? She's lost £1. What's the percentage? So actually, look, there is a £1 loss out of the 5. 1 out of the 5 that was originally there. 1/5, 1/5 is what? 20%. So 1/5 is going to be 20%. There's a 20% loss. Have a look at this one. Amir buys a top for £20. After a year, he sells it for 25. he's working out his percentage profit or loss. What does he need to do? He needs to work out that it's £5 difference, and it was originally 20, not 25. So it's the change divided by the original amount. Change divided by original. So you can do it as a fraction. You can press divide. You can do whatever you like. Change, what did it change by? Divided by the original. And then that gives you 0.25. And then you need to do it as a percentage, not a decimal. So you need to times 100 and stick a percent sign on. So you get 25%. So we need to write this down. Look, percentage change. You don't need to write profit, loss, increase, decrease. It's just the same thing. Any percentage change. So let's write down percentage change equals change over original. You do that first. That gives you a decimal version. So you need to times it by 100 and you need to put a percent sign on the end. So any percentage change is change divided by original times 100%. So put that in a bubble, please. Put that all in a nice little bubble. Like I said, you don't have to write these words. I just want you to understand percentage profit, percentage loss, percentage increase, percentage decrease. It all uses this same formula, percentage change. Change divided by original times 100. And make sure you've got that written down, please, somewhere. Change over original times 100, because you're going to need that in a minute. So let's just put it into context here. A piece of wood is 80 centimetres. If it's chopped off, now it's 60. So what's the change? The change is 20, done. Divided by what the original was. You work that out. And look, you can actually do it as a non-calc thing as well. That divided by that, oh, that's 1/4. 1/4 is 0.25, and then you times by 100 to get your 25%. So have a quick go at this one. So you're going to need your calculators. So the population of birds on an island was 2,500. Population was then 2,155. So actually, gone down or gone up? Gone down. What's the percentage decrease? So we need to work out what is the change. So hopefully you've put that into your calculator and come up with the change. It's changed by 345 divided by what was it originally? 2,500. So 345 divided by 2,500. Stick that in your calculator and you will get 0.138. So actually, you are going to get 13.8% decrease. So 13.8% decrease because it changed divided by original, and then I times it by 100. Good. So hopefully you've got that, and that will be in your arsenal. You'll remember that for a long time. So I want you to have a go at the worksheet. So there is a worksheet. It will be brought round to you. So teacher, if you could pause. It's here. I'm going to actually give the answers to the teacher so they can read them out, because I haven't done them right this second while I'm recording this video. So the teacher will have some answers so they can come around and help you if you're not sure. If you could pause the video, that'd be lovely. Right, so if there is an extension needed, you can get the White Rose Book 2s out of the cupboard. White Rose Blue Book 2s, and it's page 339, and here's a load of percentage change questions that you can have a go at. So all the way down from on this page, from question 1 all the way down to question 8, and there is a little bit of silver reasoning to have a go at as well. So that's it. So percentage change, must remember change divided by original times 100%. Well done, and I'll see you next week.